Hi, everyone, and welcome to Week 7's 2022 Clips of the Week. This is Tony Fox from the Portland Football Officials Association with this week's clips. Just as a reminder, Kevin Hatfield, our SRI, has reviewed all of these clips. If you have any questions regarding these clips or rulings, please reach out to Kevin. Again, we're not calling out any official, crew, association, player, team, or coach, just simply trying to get better, prepare for the upcoming playoffs, and work towards our long term goal of one rule, one mechanic, and one interpretation. So, with that said, let's look at this week's clips. This first play here is a kickoff and just some game awareness to think about here. So, the offense just scored, and there's less than 5 minutes left in the game, and the team that scored and that is kicking off is down 3 points. So, game awareness would tell us that it's very likely there could be an onside kick here. The crew is not in an onside kick formation, so or using onside kick mechanics. So we want to make sure that we are still aware of this. And just an old adage in officiating when it comes to free kicks is that a free kick is an onside kick until it's not an onside kick. So we need to be prepared for anything. So you're going to see here that the kicking team does indeed kick a squib or onside kick. And we have our head linesman who is sprinting in, who lined up down around the 15 or 20 and is coming in, and they're going to be the first one there. Our back judge has barely moved off of the kicker's restraining line. Our center judge or umpire is coming in across the field, but they're 40 plus yards away. We'd like to see this back judge hustle more and get to that pile as the head linesman is doing. Ultimately, the kicking team is the one to recover this ball, which very well could be the right ruling, but our back judge is not hustling over there to help. So let's make sure we hustle to that pile to uh, get to that as quickly as possible. So on this play, I'm going to play the audio. This is a 2 point try, and we're going to see two flags at the end of this play. So first off, the line judge does have an illegal formation. So that does appear to be the right call here. We have 5 players in the backfield. Also want to pay special attention here to the would-be holder. You'll notice that they're in a crouched position. So if we're the referee or maybe one of the wings and we see this, that does look abnormal and our antenna should go up. So I'm going to let this play and we're going to play it with the sound. So we want to hear when the whistles blow. So I'm going to rewind this here and let's play this again. So this is a 2 point try, a little pass forward. That's an incomplete pass. Our whistle should be blowing right now. This play is dead. So the whistles are a little late here, and now we have the line judge that's come in with a dead ball, unnecessary roughness. So now we have a live ball followed by a dead ball foul, the live ball against the offense, the dead ball against the defense. So what should the next play be? So the crew enforced this separately and in the order of occurrence. They went 5 yards from the previous spot back to the 8 for the legal formation, then enforced half the distance for the unnecessary roughness. However, again, this was a live ball followed by a dead ball foul. The live ball would have likely been declined, and then the UNR would have been enforced on the kickoff. Did we give this explanation to the coach? It's unlikely that they would want to give the scoring team an opportunity to score more points and just simply have their unnecessary roughness enforced on the kickoff. So, just to make sure that as a crew we get together and talk about penalty enforcement before we actually enforce the penalty, we continue to see this week in and week out on our clips of the week where we're not enforcing penalties correctly. So, just reminder to all members of the crew to step forward if you see something that is off so that we can prevent something from like this happening. So this is another play that's similar. In this case, we want to pay special attention to the the holder as well. And we're going to see our line judge here with a flag. So let's rewind that. And again, let's watch the holder. So as we saw in our previous play, the would-be holder actually got in a crouch position. Now, by rule, they are allowed to come off their knee, rise up, and throw a pass. But in this case, we have our holder who does not do that. They throw this pass from their knee. That is simply a dead ball at that point in time. Once that pass is thrown, this is a dead ball. So the line judge catches this. They do throw a flag. That flag does get waved off. This is simply an incomplete pass or dead ball at that point in time. One note here for the line judge is to continue to officiate the play. We have players coming over into that side area. We just want to make sure nothing is happening. But great catch by this line judge to know that that is a dead ball. So this is an interesting play where we're going to have a long pass, and then the defender is going to pop the ball loose. And both players go out of bounds at this point. So remember, by rule, you're not allowed to intentionally go out of bounds and then come back in and participate, and that would be illegal participation if we do. But in this case, we have two players colliding together in a football play. They go out of bounds, and they both come in to try to recover it. And what we're going to see is that a member of the defense actually ends up recovering this. So there was just some discussion on this crew about whether or not we had illegal participation here, but they correctly ruled this to be the defense's ball. So good job by that crew. So on this play here, we just wanted to pay attention to a couple of mechanics here. First off, we have a pass. It is fourth down here, and the wing is going down. Now, remember, we'd like the wing to hold the line of scrimmage. Now, there may be some situational awareness or situations where we want the wing to release. That is the strong side, and perhaps with the down and distance and perhaps game situations, we'd like to have that wing release. And maybe that's what this crew talked about. So if that's the case, fine. Otherwise, wings, we would like you to hold the line of scrimmage. But if we are going to send that wing down and the play goes that way, we want the referee or center judge, if you're using a center judge, to follow that play as necessary. And we'll see that here with this referee. They're going to continue to follow that play, and they're going to pick up a horse collar tackle there. So excellent job by the referee for following that play. Wings, remember to hold the line of scrimmage unless your crew dictates that based on game situation, it would make sense for you to release. And we do agree with that. If you have fourth and long in a close game at the end of maybe the second or fourth quarter, it might make sense to release a wing downfield to help the back judge with coverage. So we're going to see several different angles of this clip in particular. And just a reminder of pre-snap keys. So working with the center judge, they're going to have the left tackle, left guard, and center. The referee will have right guard and right tackle. And we can see the left guard, their helmet comes off. So again, we're going to see this from a couple different angles. This end zone view is a really clear one here. So if we are the center judge, we have responsibility for that left tackle, left guard, and center. And this happens fast. This can be hard to pick up, but again, we just want to take a look at this. And we see that the hands for the defender get up in the face mask of the offensive player. So we could call either illegal use of hands or a face mask on this play. And this one's just a tight angle. And again, we're going to see this here. Hands clearly up on the face, the helmet gets off. And so we do have a penalty here by the defense that doesn't get called. We just want to make sure at this point that the member of the offensive team doesn't continue participating with their helmet off, which they don't. So on this play, again, same thing here. We want to talk about pre-snap keys. The center judge here would have left tackle, left guard, and center. We've got trips to the right, so we have the head linesman who's going to have the innermost receiver. The back judge, you can see, is shaded a little bit towards that side, and they'll have the two outside receivers. And we have our line judge off screen here who's got one receiver but can also potentially help on this left tackle. So we get a block below the waist here, and go back to the start of this again. You can see there's a hesitation, then they go low. The center judge does not call that. We don't see the flag on the screen, but the um, line judge does pick this up. Let's take a look at this one more time. So remember, with a low block, both players have to be on the line of scrimmage. Hard to tell if that defender is on the line of scrimmage, but we'll say he is. And they have to be in the free blocking zone. It appears they may be outside the free blocking zone. They are lined up with the center judge, though. So let's say that they are. Then the action by the offensive player must be immediate at the snap. And that certainly doesn't happen here. So just like a play we had last week, we have a hesitation, then a low block. And we'll notice that is white number 58. And that's important for the next clip we're going to look at. But good job here by the line judge for picking that up. So this is 2 plays later in the same game. So again, let's just talk about our keys on different plays. So if we number the players 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the sideline in, the back judge is going to have K, 4, and 5, and the center judge or umpire is also going to have K, 4, and 5 on their side. Back judge will come into the field after the kickers have gone past them. Same with the center judge or umpire. We've been noticing on film this year that not every center judge or umpire is working their way into the field. And this play will show exactly why we want to do that. We'd like to have 2 officials working inside out in the middle of the field. So as this play goes off, let's pay attention to this player here on the return team in red, because they're going to be doing something that nobody else on their team is doing, and they're going against the grain, and they're swimming upstream. Our antenna should be on full alert here when we see something like this. And we get a pretty vicious illegal block below the waist. I'm just going to slow this down. So this is a call that the center judge should have had. This is on their key. And let this play and we can kind of see what happens afterwards. Obviously, we have a player who appears to be injured. Number 1 comes and gets back in his business. Some pushing and shoving. We don't see any officials yet coming in on this. We do see some shadows here on the right side of the screen, so it's probable that the center judge is rushing in to see that here. But we did not get a flag on this play, and we would have liked to have seen a flag for a block below the waist there by the defense, and possibly talking to these players about the pushing and shoving afterwards. Let's take a couple of looks here at some potential grounding. So we have the line of scrimmage at the 27 here and the edges of the free blocking zone. So we're in position 5 here. Just as a rule of thumb, if they get to position 4, which is basically the post, we're going to be able to say that they're outside the edges of the free blocking zone. But remember, the ball has to cross the line of scrimmage, or there has to be a receiver in the area. Quarterback is pushed out. They appear to be on the edge of the free blocking zone. We probably give them the benefit of the doubt here. But the pass clearly does not pass the line of scrimmage. The wing's going to come in with some help, and the crew does call this intentional grounding, and rightfully so. So good communication by the crew here. So same crew. And we're going to see again the free blocking zone. So we're in position 1 here. The quarterback goes to the left, which they are. Basically somewhere between the halfway between the hash and the numbers will be the edge of the free blocking zone here. And the quarterback's going to get pushed out to their left. And the pass does cross the line of scrimmage. Now it's close to whether or not the quarterback was down. They did not rule him down. Pass crosses, and we have the wing there that has not left the line of scrimmage. And that's important because that will help the crew in determining whether or not this was intentional grounding. But since the ball did cross the line of scrimmage and it was deemed that the quarterback was outside the free blocking zone, this is not intentional grounding. So that is it for this week's Clips of the Week. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to Kevin. If you have any clips that you'd like to share with us, please reach out to pfoavc@gmail.com. Good luck with your games this week.